Hello, mate, hi, please.
Hi, I'm an officer at HMPL course. There's been a car set outside my house all weekend. Just in fear for my family's life, that's all.
So what's your name, please?
Lenny Scott.
My name is Mubin Azar. I'm on my way to meet the family of a former prison officer who was murdered for his part in uncovering a relationship between an inmate and a fellow guard. But this investigation began over a year ago with another relationship that happened behind bars and a sex tape that went viral.
That's how we live at Wandsworth, man. Yeah?
If you're one of the millions of people who've seen it or ranted about it online, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, His Majesty's, because this actually happens a lot, I'm telling you that.
If you haven't, all you need to know is that it involves a prison officer, 2 prisoners, a mobile phone, and sex behind bars.
Guys, we made history. That's what I'm telling you.
What began as an investigation into an internet sensation.
They want it to be posted, that's what you're saying to me. They want to go viral, innit?
Quickly developed into something much, much bigger.
Put them cameras down, yo, and just follow us, yeah?
Pulling me into a world of drugs, violence, and manipulation.
They think they're in love and I'll flirt all day long, mate. Not agreement.
People should not be coming into these places and coming out dead, and it's happening because of your failures.
But this is a story that goes far beyond prison walls.
In order for somebody to do something, everybody has to be paid.
That is the prison guard's car on fire.
He did nothing wrong. All he did was his job.
People will talk about things going viral. And they say, oh, this went viral and that went viral. I mean, this has actually gone viral. The number of people that have sent this to me. And at the moment, I don't know what to think. I just want to show you.
This is a movie, yeah. Gangsters were known.
How is this being filmed in a prison cell?
That's how we live at Wandsworth, man. Yeah?
That's how we live at Wandsworth. I think he just filmed like the radio thing. It's very icky. It's the kind of thing that you kind of watch and you know you shouldn't really be watching it. And that's it, it's done. It's like 2 minutes and 57 seconds. So I just don't know. There's a lot of questions in this. Okay, let's pause for a minute. It's easy to be distracted by the sex, but there's a ton of laws being broken here. Sex between a prison officer and a prisoner. This guy looks like he's smoking a joint. And it's all being filmed on a contraband phone. Pretty audacious, right? How could all of this be happening inside a prison? A place where the guards are supposed to be responsible for enforcing the rules. I need to find out about the people in the tape, so I started at the only place I could, HMP Wandsworth. It's in one of London's wealthiest neighbourhoods, but this place has a rep for being one of the worst prisons in the country. Right now, what I know is that that video was filmed behind these walls, so I want to know what people know about it. If that was your colleague, that was someone that you worked with, and you saw them in a video screwing a prisoner, it's not the kind of thing you just forget about, is it? It's like a fortress. Look at that. Let's see who's coming down. Are you going in? Do you work there? I'm from the BBC. Can I ask you a couple of questions? Can I get 2 minutes of your time? No comment. No comment. Can I have a chat with you? Are you going in? So do you work in here? Yes. Can I speak to you? Can we record your voice and not have your face on TV? I'm from the BBC. But
not to speak to the media.
You've been told not to speak to the media. Why is that?
Security information.
Security information. Told not to speak to the media. Oh, I'm from the BBC. I just want a quick... There's a word, and that word is persistence. Understandably, the prison staff were cagey, but then I met a lawyer with a friendly face. Do you know anything about the video of a prison guard?
Yeah.
You know the video we're talking about, the sex video? Do you know, was that shot here?
Yeah. H&P Wandsworth. That's where the magic happens, that's what they say.
That's where the magic happens.
They got all sorts of things inside. There was a scandal about prisoners having KFCs and Domino's, etc.
What, in here, in particular?
There's videos viraling across all social media.
Do you know with the particular video that I referenced, so what do you know about that? What happened?
I visit this prison quite often and get quite a lot of cases. So I was quite astounded first that, you know, the female guard, she was so open to actually having it recorded in the first place.
I was still hoping one of the prison officer's colleagues could confirm if the woman in the video agreed to be recorded, and if so, what was she thinking? What if he just films me? But anyone who did have something to say wouldn't say it on camera. You know about that video? Yeah. Why did it happen? Have you any idea?
I think it's because whatever she did outside, when she was in that 20-man orgy, she tried to do something more explicit here so she can get more followers and all that.
So you think it was a self-promotion?
Of course. Be a part of this system, and to do that is absolutely wrong.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Did you hear what he said? It's really obvious. She's that kind of person. She was in a 20-man orgy. Before that, she was doing that on the outside. I don't know what that's referring to. He said 20-man orgy as if it's a known thing, but I'd know what that was. So, I don't know, maybe there's something online somewhere. Just as I was about to leave, I had a chat with another officer. What if we just record your voice and he just films my feet? I could see he was nervous, but he had something to say. Can't do it out here. Could I get a contact for you? Give me, give me your phone. He agreed to speak, but we'd need to meet up away from the prison. So, a guy who I'd seen walking in and out, who said, oh, I can't speak to you. He just said, no one's gonna speak to you out here because management has told us we can't chat to you. He works in there, but he just gave me his number. He said, call me on Friday. So he clearly wants to speak. So that's good. I think that's great. My investigation was just beginning, but the police were moving fast, digging into that video. Shortly after the clip was posted online, they announced an arrest.
Linda D'Souza Abreu was on duty as a prison officer in Wandsworth Prison in southwest London when she was filmed entering a cell and having sex with a prisoner. D'Souza Abreu, a Portuguese national, was arrested at Heathrow Airport where she'd been planning to board a flight to Madrid with her father.
D'Souza Abreu was charged with misconduct in a public office and was released on bail.
Whilst the authorities focused on the alleged crime, I was more interested in why it happened. It made sense that the prisoners might film the clip to show off, but even if what I'd heard about Linda trying to make a name for herself was true, would she really break the law just for fame? I traced the video back to the first person who posted it online, a podcaster named Young Spray. I was hoping he might have some answers. How you doing?
Yes,
you alright? Nice to meet you.
Yes.
You alright?
Cool, bro.
So this is what happened. I came across you because of a very particular clip, which was this woman.
Oh, you're talking about Twitter. Someone sent it to me on my WhatsApp, my brethren. We don't need to get into what brethren, whatever, but boom, they're in jail, whatever. So he told me to post it. So I'm saying, nah, man. But at first, I was more thinking like, will I get nicked for, you know, like posting women, you know, porn and stuff. I don't know about all them laws. Like, you know, like if you're posting people having sex and they don't want you to post them. So then I initially posted it, but then I deleted it because I got nervous, you get me?
Oh, really?
I deleted
so
it.
what was
when I first posted it, it went mad straight away as well, but I deleted it so quick. That's how nervous, do you get what I'm saying? I started thinking about police and prison and bare things. So I just deleted it. And then I phoned him back. So I says, I posted it, but then I deleted it. And he was like, stop moving like a pussy. Do you know what I mean? Stop moving like just, it's cool. They want it to be posted. That's what he's saying to me. They want to go viral, innit? Yeah.
Who sent it to you?
Never.
You won't say who it was, you won't say their name.
Never, ever.
But tell me like the category of person. Are you talking about
Bad
someone?
people.
Go on.
So I know bad people.
So you mean you know people that are inside?
Bad people send me stuff.
Is there someone involved in the clip?
Bad people. It's just bad people.
Is there someone in the clip though?
Never.
You want to tell me?
I could never.
The woman in it, did you know her before you saw the clip of who she was or anything?
Nothing.
In the video, she looks like, I'm assuming, I can only, this might be wrong, but she looks like she knows she's being filmed.
Well, obviously she knows she's being filmed. You can see she's governing. She's making him know, sit down, she's going mad. Do you get what I'm saying? She's going mad.
Was that everything you received?
No, there was more.
There was more?
There was more. If I posted the whole thing, it would be Kalash.
Are you serious? There's more?
Yeah.
I was hoping the unedited clip might shed some light on why a prison officer would be willing to be filmed having sex at work. You said just to be safe.
All right, don't worry about that. See, it's him going mad. He's on mind games, isn't it?
So why did you decide you weren't going to post that?
There's madness going on in the background and names and a couple of names.
Okay.
So I couldn't do that.
So do you mean, the thing is though, when you said there's names, that everyone in that video is is implicated.
Yeah, but
it's other people.
You're going mad. You're not, but everyone knows what
I want to know.
Bro, what are you trying to do? You trying to send me prison?
I'm not trying to send
you. No, but I'm saying, what do you want to do?
No,
but no comment then.
You don't want to answer that?
There's questions that you're going to get no comment for.
Fine. So do you believe one of them at least wanted it out there?
Well, the person that sent it, he clearly did. Because why send it? But I'm thinking I think she'd be like, come on, you're a screw. Like, are you dumb? Are you that stupid? Do you get what I'm saying? Remember, I've actually been in prison, so I know how it goes, innit? So are you that dumb? It's like, she must have known she's leaving that job. She don't care about that job. It's got to be one of them, do you get what I'm saying? Because what are you doing? Like, how could you even trust that? To even leave that cell and you know they filmed? Because you've got pass the phone, because you still got the uniform.
Yeah.
So as soon as you finish doing what you're doing, you can go back into that mode, pass your phone, I'll be deleting all of that, and be on your way. But you didn't, so you knew what you're doing.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
I was still no closer to understanding why Linda allowed the prisoners to record the video, especially when she'd have no way of stopping them sharing it. Did Linda just not care about the consequences of the clip getting out there? Or was there something else going on? So I found this thing that says that she was on a TV show that I remember from the time, actually. It was a Channel 4 kind of, I guess you could describe it as a social experiment. The whole idea was, can relationships work without monogamy? Is monogamy outdated? Are we in a post-monogamy world? What I didn't know, and I watched the show at the time, Linda was on the show.
Monogamy is a social construct that I think needs to be dismantled. Opening up our relationship has allowed us to form a deeper connection with each other.
Tonight, the pair hoped for an intimate couple swap. Instead, they're in a bedroom with 15 frisky residents.
So Linda has already been on national TV having sex. And I want to be really clear, that isn't, I'm not in any way, I'm not condemning, I'm not saying this is good or bad, but it's just an accurate picture of who she is. And then, the thing is, that's not the only thing. I mean, it looks like she, let's put this diplomatically, she puts herself out there in the sense that she's done photo shoots. A lot of people are talking about her having an OnlyFans. A bunch of people online seem to think that she's going to make much more money getting subscribers than she ever was as a prison officer.
This girl knew what she was doing. Why get a job in a prison known fully well you have an OF, you and your husband are swingers. She knew what she was doing.
Now, if it was her intention to get notoriety and to get people going to her OnlyFans, then I think that's probably gonna work. There's no shortage of people who believe Linda wanted the sex tape out there in a bid to raise her profile.
She tried to do something more explicit here so she can get more followers and all that.
But then I came across something that pointed in another direction. There's this reference to a friend, just a friend, known as Hayley, speaking to someone in the press and saying there's a lot more to this story than people think. Some of the prisoners have got hold of Linda's personal details. They knew her address, her husband's name, and that she had an OnlyFans account. She was put under a lot of pressure, and there was a lot of coercion involved. She's gone through hard times because of this. Was Linda some kind of marketing mastermind or a victim in all of this? I couldn't find any way to contact her directly, but I did track down an address for the prisoner she was having sex with in the clip. He's a fitness influencer, and his name is Linton Wyrick. Oh yeah, and he's also a convicted burglar. I reckoned he'd have some answers. We're gonna head to Linton's place. The idea is to work out if there's anyone there that will speak to me and see if there's a line into him and if he might be willing to have a chat. So I just want to lay some groundwork. Maybe there's a story that he wants to tell. Everything that I see is that he's been in and out of prison for a long time. So there's a little bit of me that is worried about knocking on his door. At one point, Linton was listed as living at this address with a woman who I'm thinking is his partner. After that video with Linda, I wasn't sure if I was about to meet his girlfriend or an angry ex. Oh, hello. You all right? My name's Mabin. Can I... 5 seconds, I'll come up, yeah? Wicked, thank you. Are we rolling? Mm-hmm. I think that was really good, you know. I think that was absolutely worth it. I buzzed the doorbell, and rather than a voice coming through the tannoy, it came from up above, and I was like, what is this? And then she spoke to me from the balcony. She's like, yeah, buzz it again in 5 seconds. I started explaining what I was doing. I didn't even need to do that. She just said, buzz it again in a second, then she let me in. But, you know, I've been in these situations before where people just want you to fuck off. Where she was a lot more, hey, come up, come up, come up. Whilst I'm there, Linton called. So I just spoke to him, I just got off the phone with him. So he called from inside prison, and he goes, what I want to talk about is corruption. Like, so much corruption. You know, like in Wandsworth, it was clear that everyone had a phone, and I can prove that they knew I had a phone, and I proved that everyone knew exactly what was going on, and it's full of corruption. And I do want to talk about it, and whether it's with you or it's with someone else, I'm going to talk about it. Despite the chat, Linton went cold, so I had a lot of questions left unanswered. That allegation about corruption at Wandsworth needed urgent attention. I wanted to know if he was talking about Linda and the sex tape, or something even bigger. There's no pressure for you to do anything that you don't want to do. I really, really appreciate that. You got my number now, so any issues, just give me a shout, okay? Remember the guy who gave me his phone number outside Wandsworth Prison? Well, he agreed to meet, but here's the thing. Prison staff are forbidden from speaking to the media, so securing this interview was a big leap forward in answering the question, was Linda coerced or corrupted? He's meant to be coming here at... Let's have a look. Yeah, so in half an hour. But, you know, he's got quite a lot to lose because he still works at the prison. So he's still inside Wandsworth. So he's going to meet, but on the condition that he's not obviously ID'd. So if we light him from behind, then he's going to be in silhouette, which is probably quite good. So let's do that. You know, you're going to be talking about stuff which is going on behind closed doors in a British institution, and you are working every day, cheek to jowl with lots of people with convictions, I think maybe there's a fear about actual danger, reprisals, all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's bright. Let's take a look. All of this is in an effort to kind of reduce that level of fear. So look, you can actually share your perspective. Do you think that's going to work? He's just text. What's he saying? I'm outside the address. Okay, I better go get him. I'm gonna go stick a mic on him. Do you just want to wait then? Is that all right? I'll see you in a second. How you doing? Very nice to see you. Here we go. For extra protection, I've had an actor redo his voice. Okay. If you're comfortable, can I get you to sit here?
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure you are kind of happy with everything. I'm going to put this on your badge number. So there we go. All right, that's completely covered up, I think. You happy with that?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. The reason I was outside the prison that specific day is I was asking people about the video that went viral featuring Linda D'Souza. Did you know Linda?
Yeah, I worked with Linda. So before that video came out, I was told by some of my colleagues that there was something going on, something wasn't right. Some of the colleagues told me that they noticed her going into cells. There were staff talking about that there was something fishy, and the kind of attitude she had while she was on duty was a bit suspicious. I mean, this rumor was all around the wing, but if you've got money, then you can have sex with Linda. Some of the prisoners were telling me we had an offer for £500 that we can have sex with her.
With Linda?
Yeah.
Did nothing happen?
Something only happened when the video went viral.
Do you know the other people in the video?
Yeah, I know them. They were gang members.
Why do you think they did what they did? Do you think it was just purely because you wanted to have sex, or do you think there was more to it than that?
I think it could be more than that, because from there on, there could be a starting point. Then you could be bringing stuff in for them inside the prison.
So you think by having sex with her, they could then potentially blackmail her?
Yeah. Obviously, they try to corrupt you.
Have you ever been propositioned? Has anyone ever suggested to you that this is a way maybe you could make some money?
Yeah. One prisoner offered £1,000 for a KFC.
£1,000 for a KFC?
Yep.
They offered that to you?
Yeah.
Were you tempted?
No. They can start with maybe a KFC, a McDonald's, and then once you do something for them, then you're in their net. Then they can blackmail you. There are prisoners who try to intimidate. Sometimes they come and tell us, okay, we know where you live. I know your children, which school they go to. You know, you're just going deeper and deeper and deeper.
I think we're there.
Yeah. We're good.
We're good? I'm pretty pleased, I think. I didn't really realise that there was a suggestion that people could get £1,000 for delivering a KFC, which I think if you were working in there and you were frustrated, I think that's pretty tempting. But I guess the other thing, which is kind of massive actually, is this idea that Linda might have been doing this for money. Despite the allegation, there was no solid proof that Linda was selling sex in prison. So I was no clearer on understanding why exactly she appeared in that video.
This is a movie, you know. Gangsters were lying.
But after what I'd just been told about blackmail and intimidation, I was starting to think, what if some of the prisoners had a plan that Linda hadn't clocked?
That's how we live at Wandsworth, man. Yeah?
Maybe the whole point wasn't the actual act in itself, it wasn't the sex. It was the fact that a video was made, she was in a compromising position, and it was a means to an end because then she can be blackmailed. Maybe that's the bigger thought.
prison officer has appeared in court after a video was shared online, allegedly showing a member of staff having sex with an inmate in Wandsworth Prison.
Just over a month after the video caught fire online, Linda pled guilty to misconduct in public office. Up until now, she'd been silent on what had happened, but that was about to change.
Hello once again, Instagram. I hope you can appreciate this is going to be a very awkward and uncomfortable conversation for me to have. I just thought I really needed to come on here and clarify a lot of things. First thing being, there has been a lot, and I mean a lot, a tremendous amount of fake profiles of me that have been monetizing off of my misfortune, the scandal that the entire world has somehow managed to be involved in. I have not monetized one fucking bit. The media love any story to be salacious and sensational, and they sensationalize everything. You don't know my side of the story, and we'll leave it as that for now.
I don't understand what this other side of the story is. And I've been really open to the idea that this thing happened, and maybe you're a victim in this. Despite what a lot of people have said, and despite what many people would think watching that video, maybe you're a victim in this. And I've been really open to that. And that has involved, you know, making very formal, polite approaches via legal team, all that kind of stuff, in the most formal way, in the most polite way. And she hasn't taken that opportunity. I don't know why. I do know, though, you know, the more I've looked into this, there's a long line of prison officers that have had sex with prisoners. And so, if she doesn't want to talk, I think it's possible, I think it's likely that one of them is going to talk. I really do. There are a lot of ex-officers who've been found guilty and served their time. If any of them would open up and share their story, it could give me some real insight into what was going on with Linda. So I've got a bunch of names, a bunch of addresses, and I'm gonna do some door knocking. And the fantasy is that they're gonna open the door and say, yeah, I wanna have a chat. That might not be the reality, but that's the fantasy. And I reckon, because we're here, I reckon you should just put the camera down, because you might scare the life out of someone otherwise. I spent months reaching out to former prison officers who'd been convicted for relationships with prisoners. I just wanted to speak to her really about something that I'm working on. She just says it's in the past. I want to leave a letter. Is really a way of saying, can we just have a chat, and there's no commitment. Once you've opened it, it might go straight in the bin. Ideally, I don't want to be just dropping letters off. I'm not a postman, you know, I want to be talking to people. I'm not here for fish and chips. I'm looking for someone. She was in the papers a fair bit a little while ago because she was a prison officer. Do you know the story? They said she comes in here and she's agreed to pass on a message. I travelled all across the country. Oh my God, there's another giant dog. Knocked on a lot of doors and made hundreds of calls.
Yeah, I understand if you don't want to be involved, you don't want to be involved. But if you change your mind at any point, then you've got my number, you can get in touch with me, okay?
But ultimately, people ran in the other direction.
She doesn't live here.
I'm on the phone.
Go away.
I'm on the phone to someone.
Leave.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Take care. You know, I know what it's fueled by. I think it's fueled by embarrassment, which is understandable. It's understandable that people want to draw a line under it, but I just think it's like very emotionally fraught for a lot of these people, which makes it really difficult to get anyone to actually speak. But then, a real breakthrough. Back in London, a former officer who was jailed for corruption agreed to speak out. But get this, The officer was now a university lecturer.
In prison, we have some of the most vulnerable people, the most vulnerable population.
Rather than being caught in a relationship, she'd been convicted for smuggling drugs into prison.
No one is saying people shouldn't be punished for what they do, but our reoffending rates are showing us it just doesn't work. Something is going awfully wrong.
Hey, Simon.
Hello.
How are you doing? It's nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
That was
How
very
are you?
good. That was really interesting.
Thank you.
I wanted to understand why Sinem did what she did, and if that could give me any insight into Linda's story.
So I know none of this stuff is easy to speak about, so I'm very grateful for you doing this. And why were you interested in becoming a prison officer?
I had just graduated from a criminology degree and I had 2 babies. I just needed a job. And then I came across the prison service. It was advertised everywhere and you didn't need any previous experience. You just needed the right to work in UK and no previous convictions. So excellent, that's all I needed. I waited 6 months for the training centre.
So you were training in Wandsworth?
Yeah.
And then how soon after the training were you actually on a prison wing?
8 weeks.
It's pretty quick, isn't it?
I only needed 8 weeks of classroom training and a little bit of control and restraint before I could stand in the front line and work with the most complex population. I was petrified.
Really?
I know in my heart now, looking back, that I should never have walked into that prison.
Making sure officers feel prepared for the job is one thing, but another factor to consider is all the baggage people bring to work from their personal lives. For Linda, it was her OnlyFans. For Sinem, it was a mountain of debt.
I was about to lose my flat. I couldn't keep up the rent payments. Mentally, I was in the worst place I've ever been. I might end up homeless. I've got, they're 4 and 6. I've got babies at home.
Do you think the prisoners knew what was going on in your life?
I didn't tell them. However, where this all started going was when a prisoner kept saying to me, whatever your problem is, it can be sorted. And a few times he tested me. He showed me, like, he would walk past me on the landing, he would just stand right across me and he would just show me a small phone in his hand. I wasn't involved in anything then, but I looked at it and I didn't do anything. He was testing me to see if I'm going to report it. I didn't report it.
What do you think the intention was there?
To see if he could potentially get me to bring things in. The moment everything changed for me is when I got the repossession order. I got it in the morning and I was due to go into my afternoon shift. I didn't put any thought into it. I jumped in the car and I went straight to the prison and I went straight to that prisoner's door and I said to him, I'm going to do whatever you want me to do, but I need the money now. And that is literally how it started. It was literally what I needed, so it was just perfect. I could pay the rent in the morning, and I did. But I'm left with cannabis. And this now has to go, and there's no way I can change my mind. I don't think I was aware of what I was putting myself into. I did realise I'm in big trouble.
So did you know deep down that you were in this now and you were going to continue?
I did. Especially when you get the first grand in your hand and you make that payment and you think, is it this easy? I desperately wanted to stop. But I also knew that I was so deep into it. How do I just stop? Who do I tell? How do I seek help? What do I say? I've been fully corrupted. I've been doing this, but can you help me out now? It doesn't work that way. And so I did agree with the prisoner eventually that this very occasion was going to be the very last time I bring anything in, and that's going to be it. I arrived for the shift, had what I had on me, so again, cannabis and whatever. And as I walked through, the custodial manager said, can you step aside? We're conducting random searches. As soon as she said that, I knew it was done.
You know, given your experience, there's obvious parallels. It's not the same, but there are parallels with the Linda D'Souza case. There's a different set of circumstances, of course, because she was having sex in prison. We don't know. There's nothing to suggest that she was taking in contraband, but she was having sex with a prisoner. And I just want to know from your perspective, what do you think happened in that case?
I I don't know if I can have an opinion. I really don't know. We don't know why she done it. And if I lead an opinion and if I start saying it could be this or that, I'm no different to anyone that judged me, you know?
Yeah.
She may have been vulnerable, she may not. The prisoner may, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate it. It was really good to speak to you. I think that level of vulnerability and the fact that it was ultimately exploited, if that can happen to her, then evidently it can happen to a lot of other people. And I know this is difficult. I know this is difficult because a lot of people, particularly when you're looking at someone like Linda D'Souza, because it involves sex, our automatic response is not to be sympathetic. But I think it might be worth thinking about. And only she is ever going to understand what exactly happened. But in all of these contexts, all the people that I'm speaking to who were in positions of power and who ultimately broke the law, have done something, I just wonder how much of that is as simple as, yeah, I'm a bad person, and how much of it is actually to do with a vulnerability being exploited. So far, one source had suggested that inmates might have been planning to use the sex tape to coerce Linda into smuggling contraband.
Then once you do something for them, then you're in their net. Then they can blackmail you.
Without speaking to Linda or the inmates involved, I had no way of confirming if that was the case. But if the prize for corrupting a prison officer was drug supply into prison, then I needed to find out more. Luckily for me, Young Spray, the guy who originally posted the clip of Linda, invited me to take part in a podcast about prison officer corruption with a group of ex-inmates and an ex-officer. In the middle, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yes, Dunno, we got a special today, all about the prison system. We got a special guest. He's an ex-prison officer, this one. Jeff, he's the enemy, this one. No, but it's cool. He's a black guy. We're gonna find out why he went mad. No, but he's patterned. He's not screwed no more. Hey, Mobeen, big up yourself.
It's been 6 months. I dropped in when the Linda D'Souza video dropped, and you know when you start these stories, it's like it's pulling on a thread, right? So it's quite a narrow focus. Then you start pulling on that thread and the story gets broader and broader and broader. One thing I want to know, in this whole period, was one guy who is currently a prison officer told us that someone offered $1,000 for him to bring in like food from a takeaway that he wanted. It was just like someone trying to show off, saying, look, if you do this for me, then we're gonna turn you. And I want to know if you ever came across that.
Like, loads of times. There was one guy, yeah, I'm not going to say that, I'm going to just call him Mr. S.
Yeah, bait.
He had 16 officers under his, should I say, payroll. But he was able to orchestrate the trafficking of drugs to come from the kitchen to get dispensed onto, like, the wings.
Bad boy.
You want to make quick money, basically. You've got a clean DBS. Go to man's jail, basically. Couple
100%.
of parcels. You got 20K, 30K, right? We're living in a world where money should. There's not enough money. Do you understand? Everybody
they can make
is
money
desperate.
still.
Because
They can make money
desperate
still.
themselves. They're always stealing money themselves.
Was you on snitching on other... If you saw like another screw... Didn't care. Busting someone. Didn't care. A job's worth will go and write a security report or whatever. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to get involved. My job, go in, do what I need to do.
So if you walk past the cell and you smell a bit of weed...
Couldn't care.
I was getting a better picture of the environment that recently recruited officers like Linda were working in, and it wasn't pretty. But I couldn't understand why Jeff, the former officer I'd met at the recording, wouldn't just report corruption when he saw it in plain sight. Oi.
Hello, sir.
How you doing? You all right? Am I interrupting something?
No, not at all.
It's like there's a big operation going on.
How's it going?
How
You
you
okay?
doing? Are you all right?
I'm okay, man.
I think we need to talk about your biceps. What is going on?
Oh, the life of prison.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, literally.
The reason I started kind of looking at this whole story was the video with Linda. Did you see it when it came out?
Yeah, I did. You know what's funny, yeah? I was one of the first individuals to actually receive that video. Because obviously,
really?
Yeah, because
Why?
obviously, because I've got like a lot of, should I say, ex-inmates.
Okay.
On like my social medias. It's funny because the individual that sent me the video, he had previously sent me a video of him like doing a thing with an officer.
What? So are you saying you've seen those videos before?
Oh yeah, like loads of times. It's very common. It's very common. And how they obviously conduct their acts is in a discreetful way.
Did you ever see it happening?
Yeah. So obviously when you check the locks on like the cell doors, so as I've pushed it open, I've seen obviously this girl like giving oral to this inmate. I'll just close the door, close the cell door. Because my head was just gone.
You just walked in on her and she was...
No, I just opened the door, I just closed it.
So she was giving him head. I can think about that and I can hear that story and I can think, well, it's a blowjob. Like, it's not killing anyone.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's a part of me that thinks, if there's an environment where prison officers are kind of overlooking lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a blowjob, but then it's also contraband, and then it's also a phone, and then maybe it's someone smoking a joint.
Yeah.
Then does that create this environment in which anyone could kind of get away with anything?
Well, I've seen officers be on the receiving end when they've, should I say, reported matters. So say if a prisoner did have contraband and we went to go do a cell search on that prisoner, depending on the relationship that he has and depending on his reputation, he could have an officer in like security, and that officer in security that receives the intelligence could come and tell him, and then he'll find out who's put in like the intelligence report against him, and I've seen it go left for like officers. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It can go wrong.
It can go wrong.
You got to kind of pick your battles.
You got to pick your battles. Very, very smart. There's stories that circulate where like an officer's got incentives from it, you know, got sent to Turkey to get a teeth done, or they've got like their BBL, they've got like their bum done. It's real life story.
That actually happened?
1,000,000%.
A prisoner paid for someone's
Easy.
Brazilian
Yeah. It's crazy.
Do you think inmates are doing this in a really calculated way? Did you see examples of inmates just exploiting the hell out of prison officers?
Yeah, because one thing leads to another, you know? As soon as, I don't know, that's the thing with Joe, as soon as you get trapped in that cycle, there's no coming out from it. The moment I give that contraband to that prisoner, I'm finished. Because the word's gonna go around. And that's why I never ever got involved in it. I've seen them get into deep water. It's like survival of the fittest.
The more we get into this, I just think there's a whole layer of stuff when it comes to prisons and what's going on in prisons that the public just has no clue about. We just don't know the stuff that is going on behind those walls. And the more we do know, the kind of more bizarre and the more grim it is. Jeff wasn't the first person to describe manipulative inmates trapping officers in compromising positions. And whilst I still didn't know if that was the objective of that famous video, it did pose the question, were sex and relationships being weaponized by inmates? I made contact with someone I was told had a track record of turning officers, and they were willing to spill the details.
Okay, so I think we've just got to wait here.
It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning when he finally shows up.
You all right?
Alright.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, bro.
I'm Mubin. What do I call you?
Tom.
You're all right, Tom. Thanks for doing this. I just want you to be as honest, as open as you can be.
I'll try.
If you could start off by telling me, did you spend time inside? Is that right?
Yeah, I've been in 3 times.
You've been in 3 times?
Yeah.
When you got into prison, did you come across prison officers that were perhaps open to, you know, helping out, if you can put it that way?
As soon as I landed in that jail, I'll be scouting for a prison officer, a female, who might catch my eye. You gotta have some charm about you to first even get noticed, and then you just worm your way in.
Is there an element of, I guess you call it seduction, innit?
We'll call it flirty banter. I'll always be polite, I'll always be nice, I'll lure them in, and then when I feel like the time's right, I'll ask them, like, you know, can I bring stuff in? You got us a phone. I'll send you money, I'll give you this, whatever you want, whatever you need.
Is that because you're looking for the bigger target?
Yeah, I want something more. We'll just start off small, because realistically, I know exactly what I want. I want drugs bringing in. If you're willing to bring me a phone, you're definitely bringing drugs in. And then we'll just go from there, I can ask for anything after that.
Were you making a lot of money out of that?
Yeah, I've been in 3 times now, and I've always made money when I've gone in.
When you're trying to get a female prison officer to basically do what you want, is there an element of that relationship which you present as being romantic?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Did they believe you were in a relationship?
They think they're in love and I'll flirt all day long, mate. As long as you come in and start me, sweet, not a problem.
Is there not part of you that feels guilty? Because, you know, let's just be frank about it, you're just manipulating them, aren't you?
Yeah, it's part of the game, mate. It's a tough career that I've got here, do you know what I mean? There's no love lost, mate.
I'm reluctant to use this word, but I think it's the right. You're talking about grooming someone, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Got to groom them. Or else you're gonna let them run side. But it's up to them to say, yeah, I'll do it. You could always say no. You don't have to say yeah. If you don't say no, then sweet, run.
When I started out on this story, I didn't bank on chatting to someone who'd built a career out of grooming female officers to bring drugs into prison. All of this new detail raised questions about the inappropriate relationships I'd heard about and Linda's sex tape. But she wasn't coming forward with any answers. Instead, it looked like she was enjoying her moment of infamy. I got up pretty early today on this very grey, grim day because it's the sentencing of the Linda case. And there's all these competing theories that have been going around, and none of that stuff really got aired because there wasn't a trial. There wasn't a trial because she pled guilty. And I can't help feeling that's a bit of a shame because there was this period where if you looked online, there's these competing theories. And on one hand, you've got a bunch of people saying there's stuff that is going to come out about why this happened, which is going to change your perception of who Linda is and why she ended up in this place. And maybe there's a suggestion there that there was some kind of coercion or there's something that the public just doesn't know about and doesn't realize. So I don't know in this scenario if she's a victim or if she's a perpetrator or if there's a combination of those things going on. But in a few hours, we're going to know if she's going to be doing some time. I had one last chance to speak to Linda before she went into court. Is that Linda? Is it her?
I think that's possibly her.
Should I just run up to her?
Just go in there and grab it out.
What the? So was that her?
Yeah.
She wasn't up for answering any of my questions. I also tried my luck with some of the people she arrived with. I wasn't causing trouble before. I just wanted to know, I did write to Linda via her lawyer. Do you think she'll want to speak? Do you think she'll want to? You don't think she will? There was this report that people having her address, possible coercion, that kind of stuff. So I just want to know if, you know, there's any truth in that. Okay, don't worry about it. Thank you. They kind of just clammed up. Just silence, nothing. I think they just came out to have a cigarette. I wasn't the only one following this case. Because of the public interest in the story, the judge agreed for his sentencing remarks to be filmed.
You consented to that recording being made in circumstances where you would have no control over it and no assurances as to privacy. And the fact of the recording made you even more vulnerable to blackmail.
As part of the sentencing, the judge read out details from a forensic psychiatrist report that shed some light on why Linda might have found herself in this situation.
He diagnosed a borderline personality disorder, which he regarded as severe. It is combined with ADHD and makes you highly impulsive and reckless, so that you tend to act without considering the consequences.
The report also gave some detail on how Linda viewed her relationship with Linton.
You came to view the prisoner as your protector, a person who made you feel safe, and in that context you provided sexual services. But that is conceding to the very manipulation that your public office required you to resist. Looking back, you now say that he groomed you.
She ended up getting sentenced to 15 months. Through the whole thing, she just looked completely broken by it. She cried at one point. I mean, 15 months is a significant period of time. Half of that is going to be on license, but half of that, you know, now, tonight, she's starting her time in prison. You can look at this in a really narrow way and think it's just about Linda and just about her psychological profile, which was really significant in the sentencing, and the fact that she's got borderline personality disorder. But of course, it goes way beyond that. That's a particular vulnerability. Now, why was that not vetted?
Linda's story was evidence that vulnerable officers can slip through vetting. When they do, it can be open season for prisoners that are willing and able to corrupt. As the dust settled on Linda's court case, I couldn't stop thinking about her claim that she turned to Linton for protection. I wanted to understand how an officer might end up in that situation. Through a trusted contact, an opportunity fell in my lap.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you ready for me?
I'm ready.
Wicked. All right, I'll see you in a second.
Anaya is a former prison officer. She agreed to speak to me on condition that her real identity is concealed.
Hey, how you doing?
All good, thank you.
For that extra layer of protection, an actor has redone her voice.
I know this is quite weird, but nice to meet you too. Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, a bit nervous, but I'm all right.
You're okay, you don't need to be nervous at all. Listen, thank you so much for doing this. I just want to know, first of all, that the day you walk into prison and you're a prison officer, did you feel ready?
No. You get the training, but then you were kind of left to get on with it. I just saw things that I didn't expect to see.
What kind of stuff? Tell me about that.
Just how crazy it was. A lot of fights. So you have to think about your own safety as well. You sometimes think the prisoners can keep you safe.
Go on, what do you mean?
So, in terms of if I'm doing a 12-hour shift and I'm working late and an incident happens with another prisoner, prisoners would stick up for me if none of the other officers were around.
If I was to believe what Linda and now Anaya were saying, there was a pattern. Officers turning to inmates for protection. But just hold that thought, because listen to what Anaya drops next.
I met someone who was a prisoner. There must have been a connection, but it wasn't a romantic connection. It was more, I felt the prisoner was genuine.
The prisoner who Anaya bonded with was serving a sentence for drug dealing, and in exchange for his protection, he wanted something in return.
What is being asked of you at that point?
To bring in 5 packets of tobacco.
How much do you get paid for that?
At that time, it was about at least £300 to £400 a pack.
So that's 1,500 quid for a few packs of tobacco. That's quite easy money.
It's nothing.
You made a lot of money.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of money because you can't keep up with the amount you make. Then the bigger picture was me buying a house.
So you bought a house with the proceeds of that?
Yeah, I bought a house, I got a new car.
Did you ever get caught?
No.
Do you regret any of it?
No, none.
I built a really good relationship and a strong relationship.
Did it develop romantically?
Yeah, it did get romantic. I left the prison and I waited for him to come out. We've been together many, many years since then, and are still happy, still strong.
Anaya told me she just had a baby with the former inmate. They're now playing happy families. And guess what? He agreed to speak to me on the phone.
Hey, you alright?
Hey, you okay? It's Mubin. How you doing?
Hey there, bro. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to chat. I was with your other half, and she was telling me about what happened. So she explained how it worked, and she was saying at the start she was just bringing stuff in for you, but then it sounds like it kind of turned into a bit more of a business. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, it became a service.
A service for which you get paid?
In many different ways, I'd say. It just kept the wing calm, I'll put it like this. It kept the wing calm and it kept order.
You make it sound like a public service, like you were doing it out of the goodness of your heart.
I think I did good. Looking after everybody in the prison, making sure the prison officers were safe. I made sure there was no fights, no one getting robbed on the way, no one getting stabbed, everyone was going back behind their door safely. Sometimes you have to be like Robin Hood.
I mean, you say it was like Robin Hood, but you were making money, weren't you?
Everyone was. It's bigger than me and I, you know what I mean? To make something like this run, you gotta be paying the security companies, you gotta make sure everybody's kept sweet, you know what I mean?
So you were paying other people. Did you say you were paying the governors?
Listen, just I'm not gonna get too far into it, but just know, to make everything run, everybody has to get paid, you know what I mean?
Okay, I mean, tell me what you want to tell me, but are you talking about senior people here?
It's reading between the lines of what I'm saying. In order for somebody to do something, everybody has to be paid.
Okay, it's just gone midnight, and so they're running to a schedule. They were saying they've got someone waiting, so we will now go and follow them, and then if it goes to plan, then that pastor's going to end up in a prison tonight.
For the last few months, I'd been learning about how some inmates were grooming female officers amid a crisis of corruption in the prison system.
All right, let's jump in the car.
Right now, I'm following a gang in the process of delivering a package of drugs directly to a prisoner's window.
You're getting close to like 100 parcels a month. But I'm not the one doing the whole 100 parcels. There's many people like me, do you know what I'm saying?
These guys are part of a much bigger organized crime operation that involves a network of dodgy officers, drugs, and millions of pounds. But this investigation didn't start here.
That's how we live at Wandsworth, man. Yeah?
It all kicked off a year ago when I was sent a video of a prison officer having sex with an inmate.
Guys, we made history, that's what I'm telling you.
They want it to be posted, that's what you're saying to me. They want to go viral, innit? Yeah?
It set me off on a mission to uncover what is really going on inside our prisons.
And once you do something to them, then you're in their net.
I found an epidemic of officers being corrupted by inmates.
Got a groom. How else are you going to get everyone's side?
Which led me to a much bigger story.
I was so deep into it and I did realise I'm in big trouble.
Involving claims of corruption that go to the very top.
In order for somebody to do something, everybody has to be paid.
Now I want to know, how much control do organised crime gangs have over our prisons?
That is the prison guard's car on fire.
And what are the risks to prison officers willing to stand in their way?
I'm an officer at HMPL course. There's been a car set outside my house all weekend, just in fear for my family life.
I ruined so much just to prove a point.
At the moment, I'm putting a lot of time into going around the country, lots of different places, and following stories of prison officers who've had relationships with prisoners. But the vast majority have just been a door slammed in my face.
So far, I've spoken to one former female officer and her partner. They worked together to smuggle in contraband when he was still a prisoner.
Bigger than me and her, you know what I mean? You gotta be getting the security governance, you gotta make sure everybody's kept sweet.
Was their story isolated, or was corruption of senior staff more ingrained? As I waited for a lead to come through, I reached out to someone who was all over my timeline.
Morning, guys. Sunday morning. I hope you have all had a good weekend.
Jamie served time in 28 prisons for convictions including a serious assault.
Muffin there. Can you speak to me 2 seconds? Jail tales.
These days, he spends his time speaking directly to recently released inmates for his social media channel. It's called Jail Tales.
Tell me to drive. Get us there quicker.
I've been building a picture of how drugs are getting into prisons. So now I want Jamie to give me an insider view on exactly what is driving demand.
Is this your full-time thing now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Most of my days I'm like going here and everywhere to try and get videos. I get thousands of messages a week, like, and a lot of the time I get people saying, mate, I love what you do. You've stopped me from doing this. You've helped me on this.
Jamie wants to show his huge online following the hidden impact prison can have on inmates.
The first ever time I tried opiates or heroin or anything like that was in 2011. Loudon Grange, BCAT prison, rough jail, life is over 10 years and stuff like that.
Paint a bit of a picture for me, like tell me how did that happen in jail?
It's anything in prison to get your head over the wall. You're sick of being in jail and you want a day out, let's get off our heads and take drugs. I had a pad mate. I said, how do you sleep so much? And he said, I'm on methadone. And I'm like, what? I said, how'd you get that? He went, I was drinking in the morning. The next morning, he was spitting in a cup and bringing it back, and I was sharing it with him. And then about a week later, I remember saying to him, get me some of that, and I've got gear, someone's got gear, jump on this gear. And I'm like, what does it do to you? Exactly the same thing as that does, methadone. So I went and, he went and got heroin. And
so that was the start of it?
I was injecting for a year, yeah. It did take over my life.
If you've got an environment that is conducive to, you know, people starting to use heroin who haven't used before, that doesn't sound like it's part of a process of rehabilitating.
Well, you're not going to get rehabilitated properly with what's in the prisons.
Today, Jamie is planning to film inmates leaving one of the prisons he's done time in.
Guys, we are now on a quick dash to HMP Kirkham, so I'll see you in a minute.
Before we can even get out of the car, someone recognises him.
What's he saying?
I was assuming it was someone that follows him online, but these guys weren't exactly looking for an autograph.
Raff just shot you in your face, you little rat.
Yeah, you don't scare me about getting out of the car. I'm not scared about getting out of the car. You're mad. I'm filming for your sake, because if you find me, I'm not asked about getting out of the car. If you just want to find me, we'll fight. I'm more bothered about these. If you want to fight me, come around the corner. Yeah, my safety. Tell me to get around there. My safety. Yeah, all right.
Come in the car.
And I can't wait till you put your video up as well. When you put your video up, I'll react and tell you you've been told. Sound. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You're fine, Jamie. You're fine.
A grass, you told me to get around the corner, but you couldn't come around the corner. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Jamie, you're fine. Explain that level of aggro, why this so pissed off.
In 2021, someone shot me from mum's front door, yeah?
Was someone convicted?
20 years and 18 and a half years ago.
20 years and 18 and a half years?
Yeah.
So proper long sentences?
Shot me with, 9mm from mum's front door.
Do you know why they shot you?
Because I've given them a good hiding in the pub and all before. When I stood in court, but I didn't say no one's names. And when I think about it, like, for months afterwards, I felt dirty. I felt like I knew what I'd done was wrong kind of thing at the time.
But Jamie, you've just been shot.
Yeah, I know that, but like it was the code I'd agreed and abided by all my life.
So just by the fact that you'd used the court system, you'd gone to the police?
Yeah. I get it, I understand it. I would have called me a grass.
I looked up the guy who shot Jamie, and get this, just a few weeks into his sentence, he was in trouble again. This time for corrupting a prison officer to bring him drugs and phones. It felt like these cases of low-ranking officers being manipulated by inmates were kind of everywhere. But then a story broke that took things to a whole new level.
A former prison governor has been found guilty of misconduct in a public office for having a relationship with a drug-dealing gang boss locked up in the jail she ran. Kerry Pegg, who is 42, was told by a judge at Preston Crown Court that she will serve a custodial sentence.
When he applied to be temporarily released before the end of his sentence, she approved Anthony Saunderson's request without having the authority to do so. And after serving his sentence, Saunderson later gifted Pegg a £12,000 Mercedes.
So this is a governor that's been corrupted. It's not just a regular prison officer. Keep in mind, this is the woman that's meant to be in charge of the prison. You know, up until now, I've thought this is about vulnerable prison officers who have been manipulated by inmates, but this takes it into another league. Because if the governor's being corrupted, then that's the person at the top of the triangle.
There was no suggestion that Kerry Pegg had been involved in smuggling contraband, but this was the second time I was hearing about a banged-up drug dealer corrupting senior prison staff.
In order for somebody to do something, everybody has to be paid.
A pattern was emerging that suggested inmates with access to money and drugs can buy influence inside prison. I wanted to know if that was true.
As you can imagine, it isn't like you just call a number and say, hey, do you want to talk about your criminal activity? It doesn't work like that. So there's been quite a lot of negotiation and a long process. Someone has given me a place to meet.
I'd arranged to meet some dealers who'd sold drugs whilst in jail.
I think that's them.
Put them cameras down, yo, and just follow us, yeah?
Yeah,
Perfect. Camera down.
Perfect. I'm not following you. Should I wait? Should I come? Yeah? All right, we're good. Come on, let's go.
How you doing, people? You okay? So my name is Mubin. Are we rolling?
How long were you inside for?
Roughly around 2 years. Like, I'm in there with people that are doing life and it's full of them. It's like, these that are addicted to drugs. And then I'm running in the jail. I've got what they want. Some people have been in there like longer than I've been alive. They're just behind the door all day. They got nothing to do. They're getting drugs to get their head down and stuff like that.
What kind of drugs were being used?
Spice. That's actually what a lot of people want in jail. That was getting my floor cleaned in the morning just from a little card. I'm not even having to tidy my pad. I just get someone to come in, he's sweeping my floor on his hands and knees just so we can get a smoke for the night.
I'd seen videos online which appeared to show addicted inmates doing chores for their dealers behind bars. But what these guys told me next was way more sinister.
And if you got a problem with somebody, you can just say, yo, go throw a kettle of water on him over there, I'll give you a bit of spice. That's getting that dealt with. You wanting anything done, even if you just want extra food, because you've only got £60 to spend a week, do some spice.
You make it sound like it's your currency.
That's what I'm saying, like, that's like the biggest currency in jail, spice.
Isn't that just exploitation? Aren't you exploiting someone's addiction?
Yeah, literally. But it's just normal in there, like, that's what you're seeing day to day. Even the screws don't look at it funny. Your staff are walking past, you got a dunny on his hands and knees and they know that's not his cell he's cleaning. They know exactly what's going on, it's just normal in there. It's mad in there.
They're really clear they can only do what they're doing with the cooperation of people in the prison system, or at the very least, people turning a blind eye.
Oh my God, what's that say, Spice?
Yeah.
Ruthless dealers, a captive market of addicts, and prison staff willing to turn a blind eye. It's a toxic recipe for disaster. It's obvious that this mix isn't confined to just one prison. And if those videos are anything to go by, then it's happening all over the place. Are you going in? Do you work there? I'm from the BBC. Can I ask you a couple of questions? I'm not going to speak to you. It had been months now since I'd first started asking questions about HMP Wandsworth, the prison where Linda, the former officer at the centre of the sex tape scandal, had been working. So far, only one person had agreed to speak to me on condition of anonymity.
Why do you think so many of your colleagues were so reluctant to speak to me?
Because we've been instructed not to speak to the media.
But by who?
By the senior management. There's a sign outside going in and out of the prison which clearly says not to speak to any person from the media.
But then finally, another breakthrough.
Hey, Rachel, I'm Robin. How you
Hello,
doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Are you all right? I'm good, thank you. Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. Come on in.
Come in, thank you so much.
Rachel worked as an officer at HMP Wandsworth for 2 years, till she decided she had no choice but to leave.
What have you been up to today?
Just getting ready.
Are you a bit nervous?
I'm a bit nervous.
You do not need to be nervous at all, honestly. You absolutely don't need to be nervous.
I know I have a lot to say and it needs to be said, but it is hard to relive such a difficult chapter of my life.
I appreciate you're nervous, but why did you decide that you want to speak to me?
Because I think it's really important that people understand what really goes on. It all happens, you know, behind 10-foot walls, and it's very like out of sight and out of mind. And I think if people really understood what was going on, then maybe we could have more constructive conversations about what we need to change.
Did you believe in what you were doing? Did you get up in the morning and think, you know, what I'm doing is difficult, but it's valuable?
100%, definitely. I never questioned if I was in the right job or if I'd made the right choice. I would have found it really hard to leave if I hadn't had that push.
What was the push?
A young prisoner took his own life, and there was a staff WhatsApp group chat where everybody was talking really horribly about him and saying that they were glad that he was dead and calling him really awful names. One person said that they hope he suffered while he died. I was disgusted by the messages. It wasn't just officers. Multiple people throughout the hierarchy didn't challenge it in any way. And I did look at those people differently and think, do you think that it's okay, or do you think it's wrong, but you don't want to ruin your career by speaking out? So I thought, this is endangering other people in my care. I have a duty of care to these people. So I knew I was going to report it.
What happened?
2 people who had made sort of the most egregious comments were suspended, and I was called up to meet the governing governor and the head of security, and they said, we need to move you off of your unit because you're not safe. And I said, I know my prisoners very well. I've worked there for 2 years. I'm happy to challenge their views on snitching. And they said to me, no, you're not safe. You're at risk from staff. You're under threat from your colleagues. There's an expectation that you don't speak out against other people. And it obviously did put a bit of a target on my back. There were quite a few occasions where prisoners were saying to me, stand up for yourself. Like, why are you letting them be so rude to you? So it just was very uncomfortable for me now to be in a position where the only people defending me are prisoners.
I got in touch with HMP Wandsworth. They told me they investigated the comments and dismissed 2 officers.
If you found yourself in a situation where the prisoners are the ones that are kind of sticking up for you, did that leave you vulnerable to them possibly thinking that they might have control of the situation?
It absolutely is a situation where you're vulnerable to being corrupted, and it's spoken about in training as one of the key factors being a split between officers, and that they'll see that and they'll pick up on that.
Help yourself. So nice to meet you. Take care.
You too.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
good
much.
afternoon, all right?
I really think Rachel was trying to do the right thing in a job. And by her doing the right thing, it meant she was forced out. And if that's replicated across other prisons as well,
then that creates the perfect environment for corruption, for exploitation, and for people who want to use that for things like bringing in substances and making money off of prisoners. It is the perfect storm. Clearly, there's this ecosystem whereby you've got prisoners who are sometimes using substances inside prison, and in order to supply them and make that money, organized crime gangs are using the services of some prison officers that are therefore getting paid, right? I'm interested in that whole world, and I've got a contact that's put me in touch with a group of people who are part of that chain. So in particular, they're manufacturing spice. Whenever drugs are being sold, there's money to be made. What I don't understand is, why would you go through all the hassle of selling inside prison? Why not just do it on the street? Right, how's it going? So what is happening? Is that spice?
Yeah, spice liquid.
I can smell it actually. So you got a little assembly line, little factory going on here.
Yeah.
Is this for a specific contact? Do you know where it's going to? Or is it just a constant demand for it?
We have our regulars, but there are new people all the time shouting us for this thing. It's a big market, there's a lot of money to be made. Once they get it in, they can charge whatever they want. If they're the only one with it and people need it, people are gonna pay whatever price it is.
It's a supply and demand thing.
Yeah.
Videos of people using spice in jail are all over socials. It's thought to be one of the most used drugs in UK prisons and has been blamed for a rise in violence and prisoner deaths.
Stay close to it for too long, obviously you're gonna get.
Oh, so I need to move back?
You're gonna feel lightheaded.
The paperwork, I can see it's got text on it.
Yeah.
What is the text?
So it's legal papers. You can't just put blank papers. They're gonna look at it and say, what's this? It needs to have some sort of formality on it. So on there, it's got the legal writing.
And so then that'll just bypass the system because they just think, yeah, it's a pile of legal paperwork.
Yeah.
Are the prison authorities just not at a place where they, are they not aware of what's going on?
Of course, but there's so much going on. It's like, they take a little bit, but at the same time, they might take 10%. The other 90% is still flooding through every day. They can't get everything. One sheet alone, wholesale, can be £500 a sheet. And then how you break it down, that's 10 to 20 grand on that piece of string.
These sheets of spice paper are worth up to 10 times more in jail than they are on the street. And if you've got prison staff on the payroll, it's easy to understand why these gangs believe the potential reward outweighs the risk.
To get this into prison, have you got people working for you?
Of course. I've even got someone on the phone right now. That's in jail right now. I'll tell you the process, I'll tell you everything.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let me give him a call.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, mate.
So you're inside right now? You've got your own phone, yeah?
Yeah.
And no one's got an issue with that? And in terms of prison officers around you, have you been in a situation where you've, basically brought them over to your side, corrupted prison officers? Has that happened for you?
100%. There's a price for everyone. All officers, for a certain amount of money, they're going to do something. I'm not here for my pleasure, I'm here to make money.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
So you must be like part of your supply chain?
Yeah.
How much money are you making?
On a good month, anything between 80 to 100,000. When you got this, you got the power in it. You know what I mean? If I got these 50 sheets on my wing now, everyone's got to come to me. Everyone's got to fall in order.
So it makes you the king?
Man, of course, bro.
Just think about that for a second. If gangs across the country have set up similar supply lines into other prisons, then potentially they're pulling in hundreds of millions of pounds a year. That's more cash to corrupt prison staff and more power to keep the business growing.
There's enough people that I've spoken to now who have been really clear that they supply prisons with drugs. And the story is the same. Those people are not saying that when they get a new sentence, their lives are going to fall apart and they're thinking about rehabilitation and a new way of life. They see it as a business opportunity because they want to supply drugs. And if they're in the inside, then they can do that. I mean, one thing that no one is talking about, and if we're really frank about it, don't really care about, are drug users, and particularly drug users inside prison. But that's an important part of that equation, that none of this would be possible without them. And there is a human cost to that stuff. So I think it's really important that it's considered.
32 deaths. What's it gonna take? These families have lost loved ones because you're smuggling drugs into that prison.
Since 2022, 32 inmates have died in this jail. 5 of the 17 fatalities in 2024 were suspected to be drug-related. Today, families of some of the men who died are staging a protest.
Your failure to stop the spice getting in, your staff bringing spice in, people should not be coming into these places and coming out dead, and that is what's happening, and it's happening because of your failures. Come down and face the public.
It's not good enough hearing. He will be sadly missed. He had always had a smile on his face. That doesn't do us justice. And we're just trying to fight to stop other people going through what our family and everybody else's family gone through. Some people are not drug users going in, but they're drug addicts coming out. That says if they are lucky to come out.
This Mikey was your nephew?
He was, yes. He was a drug addict. It drove him to suicide. And there's nothing a parent can do on the outside. What I can say is, my sister did have a phone call and a text asking for money that Mikey did owe. Mikey had 2 debts in there.
He was in debt inside?
He was in debt inside.
Have you any idea about the nature of that debt?
Spice.
It was a drug debt?
Yes.
Did you say it was your sister that got the message?
Yes, my sister's over there.
Oh, is she here?
Yes, I can bring her.
Yeah, I'd like to speak to her if that's all right.
Catherine?
Are you all right to speak to us? We're making a documentary. I've just been hearing about Mikey. I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you all right to speak?
Yeah.
No pressure, only if you want to. Are you okay? Your sister was just telling me about texts you were getting.
Yeah.
Could you show me the texts?
Yeah. There's one.
Can I read it? Is that all right?
Yeah.
So then they've got a name and the bank details.
Yes.
Have I got to pay you 250 quid, you've asked?
Yes.
That was my instruction, but I appreciate that you've not heard it from your son yet. It's just so wild that someone would be so brazen to text you and just say hand over 250 quid for, you know, a drug debt, which shouldn't have occurred in the first place because there's meant to be no drugs in there. Did you end up paying the 250 quid?
I told her to fuck off. Excuse my language.
No, that was fine. Yeah.
I'm not paying no more. And I did say to Mikey, enough is enough. I am not paying anymore. You could stand on your own 2 feet, and I gotta live with that now.
Drugs smuggled inside prisons by some officers appeared to have become the new normal, and the devastating impact on the most vulnerable inmates was being documented online. I wanted to understand why so many officers in the prison system were either bringing in drugs or doing little to stop prisoners using. Was this a problem with the individuals or a much bigger issue with the system itself?
Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure.
How's your day been?
Busy.
You all right? Nice to meet you. You all right?
Yeah.
One person I was hoping might be able to shed some light is Mark Fairhurst, head of the Prison Officers Association.
We've had this morning and a member of staff assaulted who's had to go home.
What, just this morning?
Yeah. This member of staff was in his 60s, by the way. And now we've got an ongoing incident in the jail itself where the prisoners decided to jump on the safety net. So that brings a grinding halt to absolutely everything until we get him off or he decides to come off.
What? So that's happening right now?
That's happening right now, an ongoing incident, yeah. I'm in my 34th year. I'm used to it. I know what to expect.
And you know what you do.
I know how it's changed. It hasn't changed for the better in any way whatsoever because of lack of investment from successive governments over the last 20, 30 years.
Mark speaks for thousands of prison officers across the country, so I want his take on why some of them are being corrupted.
Some of the stories I've heard, the entry point might be turn a blind eye to someone vaping, but then that goes all the way up to, can you actually start being the person that brings contraband in?
I think that's the problem with the recruitment process. It's not strict enough. The vetting process is not strict enough. The training is not fit for purpose. I think that's where it starts. Because back in my day, you did challenge everything. And you had standards, and you had leaders. You had managers on the wing who led the way, and you had experienced staff to guide you. And I think now that's gone. The problem with corrupt staff is it affects us all. As you've seen from that Wandsworth video, the amount of abuse and provocative, suggestive language female staff now get from prisoners because of that video is off the scale. It's an absolute disgrace.
A lot of the conversations that I'm having with people that are serving as prison officers at the moment, they're painting a picture that is really, really bleak. And so what do you see as the way out? What do you see as the fix?
I would double the amount of staff in every prison. And that way, it's very difficult for corrupt staff to operate.
Do you think it's going to happen?
I think if it doesn't, the system will crumble entirely because more and more people will leave. We're on the brink now.
Mark believes the system is at breaking point, but what he told me next made the situation sound even more bleak.
You are dealing with a co-author prisoner who is more violent. There's more money around, there's more drug dealers around. That's the problem, there's more organised criminal gangs around. It's easy to get drugs in, and the main way they come in, it's not fight corrupt staff. Now you just throw them over the wall, or even easier, GPS on a drone, hangs the goods outside the prison and you just collect them.
I did some research into what Mark said, and get this, in the last year there were more than 1,700 drone incidents outside prisons in England and Wales. That works out as more than 4 a day, and that's a 43% increase on the year before. What exactly is being done to stop these deliveries that are all over my timeline? To find out, I wanted to see the process for myself.
The plan tonight is to spend some time with someone that makes the packages of contraband that then end up in prison. What I really want to see is the inside of that process. Because I know it's, you know, we might not like this word, because some people might think it legitimizes it, but it's an industry. You know, by this point, I know that this is happening. Enough people have mentioned it. We know that there's contraband getting into prisons. We know there's drugs and phones and other stuff in prisons. So we know it's happening. So it is an industry. People are getting paid off of it. And so I think it's valuable, actually, seeing how that works. How you doing? I'm Mubin. What do I call you?
Bricks.
Bricks. Bricks is putting together a package that will be flown into prison tonight.
This one's just tobacco, some razors, some chargers. It's a light one, but obviously still, when broken down right, it's a lot of money in jail. It's thousands of pounds. This actually special order, someone's ordered mushrooms. Obviously this is probably what the biggest craze is right now. It's just like paper.
Is that spice?
Yeah, it's lace, it's spice.
How did you get started in this?
You see, I went to jail a few times myself from a young age. Obviously you get exposed to all the different avenues of making revenue. So obviously there's risk to reward to everything, so it's just pick your risks.
Can you put a figure on how much money you made when you were inside?
touching six figures. I've seen man that made $1 million in jail. Like, it's not hard if you know what you're doing.
Hang on, did he just say £1 million?
Seen man that made $1 million in jail.
How are these gangs managing to make that much money without getting caught?
So talk me through what happens when it leaves here. What is the process?
Obviously, it goes to my vehicles, driving near a prison. It's thrown into the prison.
You know when it goes over the prison wall, like how does it physically then get into the hands of the person that wants it?
You get a flashlight and you put it on outside your window, and a drone pilot can see which window has the flashlight on. What goes well, go to someone's window and they'll grab that. It'll usually be a grabber. So that won't even be the person that's paid for the stuff. Because if they've seen that in the air, they're gonna want to spin that cell in the morning. So you won't want to risk that. So you usually got someone with a spice there or some form of drug there. They'll be the grabber. They'll get their window smashed out. So they can stick their hand out at night and boom, bam, bam.
Are you doing this to a particular schedule? Is someone waiting for you? Is that right?
That's why we need to wrap this up, because...
Okay, fine. How much money would you make from that?
Depending on the size, what's been put in that box right now, you could get about, if you push it, 7.5 to 8 grand. Yeah, stop rolling now.
Okay, we can cut.
I have no idea where we're going or what prison this is for, but it seems like a big operation with a whole chain of command.
All right, let's jump in the car. Come on. All right, so what is your job in this?
I'm just like the fucking bridge in it, like, you get what I'm saying?
Are you the kind of connect between...
Oh, you got it right there in one. You get what I'm saying? It's a thing where fucking, like, I know man from jail, they give me the bird call, and then I pattern it.
So they're putting like a specific order?
A specific order. Obviously, man, if I don't get the call, man will hit me up and say, bish, bash, bosh, can you pattern, boom, 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 and obviously, I give them my fucking rate, and literally that's all I do with this thing. You get what I'm saying? Like,
and tonight, then, are you getting this delivered to a particular cell?
It's a man that I fuck with. They've come to me and I'm putting the order for this thing. The money's already been sorted. So it's just.
Do you know? Are they gonna be? Is this for their personal use, or are they gonna be dealing it?
No, they're shotting, blood.
Where's the drone flying from?
It's going from. You're gonna just see it go in the sky, man. You get me?
We'll just follow you. Yeah, like we don't want to. We're not gonna get in the way.
Yeah. I'll just directly look to the pilot. You look and film the pilot. I'm gonna park off here.
Is that the pilot?
Yeah.
You jump out?
Yeah.
Flying a drone within 400 meters of a prison is against the law. If caught, these guys could face up to 10 years in jail. With that in mind, it felt nuts that this was all going down in plain sight.
So I guess when this happens, you just want to be like in and out as quickly as you
can. I feel vulnerable right now, blood.
Yeah, tell me about it. Do you ever have a situation where it's not delivered or there's a problem?
There's been times where man has said they ain't got it, or it's been yacked by the boss. There's people that you're getting parcels like about 100 parcels a month. But that's I'm not the one doing the whole 100 parcels. There's many people like me, do you know what I'm saying?
You know, for this package, have you already been paid?
Yeah.
How much have you been paid for it?
£2.5 quid.
2.5 grand?
Yeah.
For this one parcel?
Yeah.
And that's just your cut?
Yeah, that's my cut.
you know, in a couple of minutes, that is beyond. It's in the prison now. You know what I mean? It's entered the system. The way he did it, it's just everyone like looking over their shoulder.
We should let him do this, but we should sit in the car and let him do his thing, because all of us out here like this is mental. We should let him fly it, do you get what I'm saying?
If you want to move back to the car, we can move back to the car.
Back to the whip, bro.
It's now 1:29 in the morning. They've just done one delivery. He was pretty clear he's got another one to do tonight. And that's any given night in London. And he was really clear at the start of the night. He said there isn't a prison in the country that they can't get stuff into. It's a lot bigger than a few people that are doing this as a little enterprise.
I've now been working on this story for a year. What started off being about a sex tape that went viral had pulled me into a world of drugs, organised crime and coercion, where corrupt prison officers were cogs in a much bigger machine.
Everybody has to be paid.
With millions of pounds at stake for the officers and inmates who've made smuggling contraband their business.
And then how you break it down, that's 10 to 20 grand on that piece of shit.
I had questions about what lengths they'd go to protect their profits.
Because these youths around there, they're shanking you up. I'm not older, but I'll put a hole in someone. That's my type of thing.
And then I came across this.
I've been hearing these stories about fire bombings linked to prison guards in the car park of prisons. And so I'm heading to the main prison in the middle of Edinburgh. I know this is one of the places where a prison guard's car was firebombed. This is the car park. So someone in one of these houses must have seen something. So I think it probably is worth asking around.
Kind of obvious, but no one was going to invite me in for a cup of tea to chat about cars being set on fire in their neighbourhood. The locals were terrified of becoming a target, but one woman did agree to speak to me off camera.
She's really clear that they're scared of reprisals. She says that they spoke to some prison staff who told her off the record that they'd seen people come on the prison CCTV, and these people came and targeted the car, and that's when they worked out that it was a targeted attack. And the car wasn't just a random car, isn't, you know, someone just parked there. It's one of the staff, it's one of the prison staff. And then she told me about the fire, and she said the night it happened, her family group chat just popped off because she filmed this. That is the prison guard's car on fire. Can you hear her? She just says, "This is terrifying."
And it wasn't just happening in Edinburgh. I soon saw reports of similar incidents all over the UK. The firebombs were a warning, a signal that criminals were prepared to attack prison staff anywhere, at any time. With concerns reaching unprecedented levels, a new story hit the headlines that seemed to confirm many people's worst fears. Elias Morgan, a former prisoner at HMP Alt Course, stood accused of murdering Lenny Scott, a man who'd worked as an officer at the jail.
This is this article that says, former prison guard was shot dead in an act of retaliation after he exposed an illicit relationship between a convict and a female officer. The police have put out a bunch of evidence now because it's gone to trial. So this is the phone call. This is Lenny Scott calling the police.
Hello, Minister, please.
I'm an officer at HMP Alt Course. I've just been informed that there's been a car set outside my house all weekend.
Right, okay, so what's your name, please?
Lenny Scott.
And who's made the threat?
Elias Morgan. I've nicked him for your phone. Just in fear for my family's life, that's all.
Before this call, Morgan had offered Lenny £1,500 to turn a blind eye to his contraband phone, but Lenny refused to be corrupted.
He said he's got lads everywhere, so he says he's described my vehicle and he's described my house and what my girlfriend and twin boys look like. He's got everything to a T. He knows, he's described everything.
He's so obviously asking for help. It's not as if he kept this to himself, and there's one point in there he says it's not about me, I can handle whatever. You know, he's worried about the rest of the family. And then not so long after that, he ends up dead. And I think this is it's a different league to everything else we've been looking at.
The contraband phone that Lenny seized didn't just incriminate Morgan. It led to the discovery of a relationship between the inmate and a female prison officer named Sarah Williams.
And I phone he had, and he reckons it's going to incriminate him, so that's why he's going to these lads.
An illicit relationship, a contraband phone, and now allegations of a murder. The trial was still underway, so that was my next stop.
Some pretty horrific evidence. Lenny Scott's dad, so Lenny Scott being the prison officer, and his dad tells this story about a conversation he had with his son one day about being threatened. So after he'd confiscated this phone that was found in his cell, Elias Morgan apparently said to him, "I'll bide my time, but I promise I'll get you," whilst making this kind of gun sign with his fingers. "I'll bide my time, but I promise I'll get you." And then Lenny goes on to explain, he said to his dad, "That was my job. I wasn't doing anything other than what my job demanded." Now, the fact of the matter is, he's now dead. And so whatever happens at this trial, it paints a pretty horrific picture of what's going on in the prison system.
Whilst the trial of Lenny's alleged killer continued in Preston, I headed back to London to try and tie up the story I'd been chasing for over a year. Linda D'Souza Abreu was out of prison, so I had one last chance to see if she'd answer my questions about whether or not the sex tape was part of an attempted coercion plot.
I'll see you in a bit. So I think she was home, which is something, but she wouldn't speak to me. She didn't get in front of me. The other half did. And he said, "Look, she can't speak to you." And so then we went down this path of, okay, but she can't speak to me, but what does that mean? No, she can't speak to you. Okay, she can't speak to me because she's not allowed to, or because she doesn't want to. No, she's not allowed to. Oh, so it's legal. Yeah, she can't speak to you legally. So then I said, look, I know how license conditions work. If it's a condition of her license that she can't speak to the press, then that's going to be over at some point. That's going to expire. When is that expiring? I don't know. So there's part of me that kind of feels that ship might have sailed. There's part of me that also thinks, unless you were the kind of person that actually wanted notoriety, which is what I thought, I think is what a lot of people thought when they first saw the video. Unless you caught that kind of attention, I understand why an average person would want to draw a line under this and just never speak about it again. But the flip side of that is, I think, given that she was in public office, given that she's been convicted, I also think she's got a responsibility.
200 miles up the motorway in Preston, the trial of Lenny Scott's alleged killer was in its 9th week.
That's because Lenny Scott was a former prison officer. 4 years ago, he found a mobile phone in a cell that showed a sexual relationship between Elias Morgan and another prison officer. He was offered money to keep quiet.
We're in Preston. It is the last phase of this murder trial. When this started and there was all these very tabloid headlines involving a prison officer and a sex tape, I think a lot of people just thought, isn't this funny? Isn't this very salacious and silly? I don't think anyone really thought about the thread that runs from something like that, which you can describe as prison officer corruption, and something like this, which is a murder trial. But there's definitely a thread there.
The outcome of this trial had the potential to send shockwaves across the prison service.
The jury's been sent out, so there's going to be a verdict imminently, whether it takes a few hours or a few days. And Lenny, the prison officer that was killed, I did speak to his mom. And I don't want to jinx it, but she says she does want to talk. She says it's dependent on what happens with the verdict. Of course, no one knows what is going to happen. But she says she thinks it's really important and she does want to talk. It's not about one individual, is it? It's about an entire family like that being ripped apart.
As the jury deliberated, I thought back to the months I'd spent speaking to prison officers, some of them complicit in corruption.
You made a lot of money.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of money because you can't keep up with the amount you make.
Others chose to turn a blind eye because they'd lost faith in the system.
I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to get involved. My job, go in, do what I need to do.
So if you walk past the cell and you smell a bit of
couldn't care.
And now, details of this case suggested that doing the right thing could be fatal.
It was an act of revenge on a prison officer who was doing his job. Today, Elias Morgan from Liverpool was convicted by a jury who took just over 5 hours to decide he was guilty of murder.
2 days after the verdict, I got a call. Lenny's parents were ready to talk. For safety reasons, we're meeting at a neutral location.
What I want really is just to understand what Lenny went through. Because this didn't happen overnight. It happened over a period of years, actually. It was a long, long period.
At the trial, the court was told that Lenny had confided in his parents after receiving threats from Morgan.
So you wanted, it was just black coffee?
Yes, thank you.
And that's got 1 sugar in it.
I wanted to know what Lenny had told them and understand his experience as a prison officer at HMP Alt Course.
You feeling okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So as I said, just at your own pace.
Yeah.
And just, if you want a moment, you take a moment.
Yeah.
Can you remember the first time he ever mentioned that he was interested in going into the prison service?
Yes.
What was the conversation?
Well, he told me he'd seen job advertised and he was applying for it.
He said it was the type of job where he thought he could make a difference. I'll be able to help with rehabilitation, etc., etc.
So he thought there was an obvious public good that he could do with it?
Oh, yes, very much so.
You know, once he started that job, can you remember what his first few weeks were like? Was he excited?
He loved it, yeah. He really liked it. All his training. Thought it was everything he wanted it to be.
Did he ever speak to you about seeing things, hearing things, you know, about corruption? How did he feel that was being dealt with?
There did come a change at Alt Course for him. He would just say there's corrupt prison officers that are sort of giving in to the prisoners' demands of whatever that may be. He didn't go into detail.
No. He said to me at some point that it feels like I'm being a pest to management. It's as if they want me just to go, oh, just leave well alone. But Lenny couldn't.
He just couldn't do that because he wanted to do his job properly. Can you remember the first time he told you about any threats?
He spoke to me, but he always put a humorous spin on everything, Lenny. He never wanted
didn't
to
want to
worry
worry his
anybody.
mum.
What was the response when he spoke to his work? What did they do or say?
He did feel like he wasn't supported by management. He said, oh, they don't think it's, you know, serious, it's deemed as low risk.
4 years after the threat, Lenny was no longer working in the prison service, and the inmate who threatened him had been released. On the evening of February 8th, 2024, Lenny has been training at the gym. By the time he leaves, Morgan has been waiting for him for almost an hour. As Lenny stands talking to someone in the car park, Morgan approaches. He shoots Lenny 6 times at close range.
You know, the kind of initial shock, and I imagine, you know, I've never gone through anything like that, but I imagine there's just the absolute kind of devastation of losing someone.
Numbness, wasn't it? It's just numb. He did nothing wrong. There's a saying, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. All he did was his job. Why do that? Why ruin so much just to prove a point of retaliation for him?
Remember, the chain of events that led up to this moment began at HMP Alt Course. Analysis of the contraband phone that Lenny seized from Elias Morgan revealed a relationship between the inmate and a female prison guard named Sarah Williams.
How do you process that it started with someone having a relationship with a prisoner and it ended, you know, here?
That's where my problems with Alt Course are, that why was she allowed to have relationships with 3 prisoners? Why was she allowed that even after people told them that she was corrupt, that was she allowed to carry on?
Carry on.
So they're my questions I have for them. I would like to ask Alt Course a number of questions around it. Once you've got a corrupt officer, it puts every other member of staff at risk.
At risk, yeah.
And that's what he was against completely.
I mean, at the end of the day, if Lenny had turned a blind eye, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But that wouldn't have been Lenny.
It just wasn't him.
It just wasn't him.
I'm really grateful for you both speaking to me, I really am. I know this is not...
Sorry if...
You do not need to be sorry at all, honestly, not for 1 second. I know this is not a nice conversation to have, so I'm really, really grateful. Thank you so much for speaking to me. Elias Morgan, that's the man that murdered Lenny. He's been sentenced to 45 years. And you can think about that as some kind of neat ending to this story, but of course it's not. If you think about Lenny's family, or actually if you think about anyone that works in the prison system, it's kind of impossible to process that someone got murdered just for doing their job. They're never going to get over that. And whether it's Linda's sex tape, or it's Lenny's story, or it's all those inappropriate relationships I've been hearing about, or the contraband that's going into prisons, it really feels that at every single level there's examples of corruption in the prison system. So if that's going to change, then you have to acknowledge this isn't about a few individuals. This is about a system that right now isn't working. And the people that have to acknowledge that are the people with power. So I'm talking about people at the top. They have to be willing to at least have that conversation. And at the moment, that isn't happening. And that's a problem.